I'm curious to discover if the protagonist of this project, Frank, and myself share a similar foundation, and if we were to encounter a situation like this in the real world, we'll see Frank's take in a minute, but how we would go about processing it, and really dealing with it in reality, because we wouldn't have a choice. I can only empathize, having read the pitch to this movie. I would not want to be in Frank's position, locked in a porta potty, or broadly speaking, public restroom facilities. That is like a hell on earth nightmare for me, at least in thought. It's not just a preferential thing. I do have a slight germophobic tendency, and that did stem out in large part of a retail job I worked for a little over a year, where I cleaned bathrooms as part of the responsibilities, and it was on a pretty regular basis. And I saw some crap, literally, in the bathrooms. I cleaned everything, families, men's, women's. It was disgusting. So I have flashbacks quite often to the nightmare that was. It's part of the reason I've abstained altogether from using public restroom facilities unless otherwise mandated by the circumstances. So I look at, like I said, a pitch like this, and I sense a resonance. I think it's quite effective in terms of a comedy movie. I think it's got a good direction. It feels fresh, but original. And it is an international release, being officially titled in its German language, I believe, ACH DU SCHEISSE, or apropos of a title in terms of its English translation, Holy S. That's a clean variation. You, of course, can guess what that means. But like I said, on-point branding. It sounds effective. Maybe some of you are not familiar with this release. It's going by both names. I'm not yet sure where it's going to be released. There's no information on IMDb presently on that yet, but maybe some of you are looking at it with fresh eyes. This is a good background on it if you want it from IMDb. Architect Frank wakes up from unconsciousness, squashed in a porta potty. But it gets worse. In order not to be blown up during the imminent demolition, Frank must make his way out of his blue grave in 1 hour, a race against time. I love how on point this is, and it's a very snarky pitch at that, like almost reveling in the glee of him being locked up, and where I'm sure he would, really where no person I'm sure would ever want to be. Let's take a look at the project and see how effective it is as a comedy thriller. That's, at least again, going by its genre attributions, that's how it's categorized in IMDb. I'm curious, like I said, fresh energy and a real resonance. So I see myself quite a bit in Frank right now, perhaps. Or maybe there will be a germophobia that develops as an effect of this situation. Let's consider it in full, or at least the trailer we have to go off of, just one. But it's a pretty sizable trailer, a little over 2 minutes. Bloody disgusting. I've seen that attribution before from other studio offerings. Please tell me that's not. Like I said, hell on earth. Poor guy. I just feel like I want to wash my hands watching this. It's so unclean to me. I like the pacing of the movie too. Well, when you've got no other options, you do whatever you can. I mean, that's probably just sheer desperation. The smiley face is kind of ironic. I like it. Literally. Are you the good Samaritan? Oh.
Say something! Bob!
Emotionally, I'm with him. This is definitely a comedy movie.
Versteckst du dich von mir?
A darker one.
Die ist bei mir, Frank.
Poor guy. So he's positioned like upside down, I think. Well, at least, you know, maybe the enemies in this case practiced some mercy, because they didn't put his head, you know, where it could have gone, an upside down angle. It's a bit of a bizarre idea. Like I said, it feels particularly fresh. I mean, we'll have to see what the landscape looks like in the thriller territory as well going forward. Are any of our filmmakers going to pick up on this? and be like, hey, we can do something with being locked in porta potties. I mean, in terms of a hopefully temporary prison, it's a good idea. I think it's pretty strong, especially for anybody who's sensitive to just the germ side of this project. Like, it just feels dirty. I like it. Hopefully, I'm sure the movie will provide subtitles as well, because, I mean, I didn't study German, I studied Spanish. But, again, I'm curious. I'm looking at this in many respects as a fresh project. Again, I try and consult projects, generally on the indie market, big commercial scene, and even worldwide, and I haven't made it around to every country in the world, but I've tried to gauge a few, and I don't think I've hit up on Germany yet. But I like the originality of this project. I like the individual strength of it. Good pacing, quite effective, and it feels like you have a guy that is exhausted in resources, so he's trying it in desperation of whatever he can to get out of the porta potty. And I think I was right that he is upside down. So, well, no, he's not pitched. Okay, so hang on a second. Is he like tied onto something, or is he cuffed to anything? Because I'm like, normally I would think the body would fall unless he's balancing himself in that position. He has to be cuffed to something. Maybe he's attached to maybe one of his feet. I didn't catch it. There's a cuff anywhere. Yeah, maybe. Maybe he's duct taped. Not sure. It's a funny idea. I mean, it's definitely playing on some with other elements. I mean, I was hoping this guy would rescue him. I mean, thank goodness it seems too. It could have been two in the porta potty. It could have been this guy falls down, and I guess he fell on the outside, so he's lucky. But hopefully he's not dead. Like, well, if you're bleeding, the body can heal. Poor guy, though. I mean, I don't know. This guy might get sick, so it might be a death sentence. Hopefully not. I mean, I'm curious on it. I don't know necessarily where it's going to be released at present, as I said. Probably, maybe Tubi, maybe one of the other streaming services. Maybe you're going to have to pay to get in. But, I mean, some of the international releases make it onto Tubi, and Tubi's pretty accessible being free with ads, of course. So maybe it'll be on Freevee or something. Maybe it'll get a physical media copy, and it'll make its way at some point to Western countries. Again, like I said, there's no information provided, at least presently, from what I saw. And its official release date was actually last year. It's been making its way around several film festivals. It's just, okay, last year it released in Germany on October 20th. And at present, it has not gotten, it's still making its way for a couple film circuits, latest of which being, well, it's not an award circuit, at least as it's attributed, but on March 3rd this year in Japan. So it might make its way around eventually. I'm curious. I mean, the channel I saw this on, I think they're US based. So it's getting around. We'll see how strong it is in terms of a debut. I mean, I don't know how many people are talking about Holy S or Ach du Scheiße. I guess I try and run a clean operation on this channel as well. So, I guess technically I'm swearing in German. But maybe, well, for one time, I guess only. Ach du Scheiße. Maybe it'll do quite well when it hits the Western market. I don't know. I mean, again, like I said, the originality of the pitch is intriguing to me, and the relevancy, I feel for Frank. We'll see where the story goes. I mean, I think, as I said, it's got quite a strength, and maybe the different facets of tone that it's touching on. The dark comedy side, the themes of revenge, jealousy, perhaps. I mean, I think this one guy mentioned, in the subtitles, where'd it go? I think referring to that one woman, she's with me. So this is all based on a girl. Like, I had to get the other guy, out of the picture, so I locked him in a porta potty. What are your guys' thoughts of Ach du Scheiße? Or, I think it's Ach. I don't know. Again, I try to get a good baseline going in, including the pronunciation. If it's a bit inaccurate, forgive me. Let me know what your thoughts are down below if you wish to disclose your perspective. I mean, I'm curious on it. I'll give it a go, definitely. Though I'll probably have some hand sanitizer nearby as I watch this project. I mean, we'll see if the idea gets translated anywhere else, but I think it's charming, it's individual, and I'm definitely game for a film like that. And if it's making its way around different award circuits, it's got to have, I'm sure, more strength. Maybe it's just, nominations and stuff, but I mean, I'm curious on it. I'll see what I think, and I think it'll be safe to say that it'll be my first German picture I've consulted. Curious. I'll leave a door open. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.